I'm going to share with you the exact system that helped me sell over $100 million worth of stuff on the internet through copywriting, broken down into 4 simple daily habits that you can implement as a total beginner to master copywriting in 60 days. The 4 daily habits that I'm about to present to you took me from a broke, average kid to a self-made millionaire at the age of 22. It took me from a struggling freelancer working out of my parents' bedroom for $7 an hour, struggling to get clients, struggling to raise my prices, and struggling to become a good copywriter, to a legitimate business owner with 16 full-time employees working under me. If you implement these 4 daily habits, I guarantee you that you will notice a huge increase in your copywriting and sales ability within just 60 days. And the best part is that it will take you less than an hour per day. I used these same 4 habits when I was just 19 years old to land my first big copywriting clients at a major direct response company and crush it for them and take home 5 figures a month living in my parents' home. Obviously, I'm not a struggling freelancer anymore and I don't live in my parents' home, but I still remember what it was like. And that's why I'm making this video, because I know that you want to become a successful freelance copywriter and you don't know where to start. If you want to succeed as a copywriter in 2025, you need to implement these daily habits right now. And it doesn't matter if you're a total beginner who's never even wrote copy in your entire life, or if you are already successful and you have a business and you just want to sharpen up your skills. As a general rule of thumb, 80% of mastery in any skill comes from the basics. So I'm going to give you 4 basic daily habits that you can implement for 60 days, and you'll be able to master some of the basics of direct response copy. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into it with the first habit. Habit number 1 is going to be to read a sales letter every single day. Here's the thing about copywriting in 2025. You can use ChatGPT to help you come up with ideas and do research, but ChatGPT is not going to give you the deep psychological understanding that comes from studying what works in the market. That's why even if you use AI or ChatGPT, you still need to be studying copy every single day. And I'm not just talking about, normal Facebook ads or looking at Instagram ads. No, I'm talking about studying long form copy, 6,000, 7,000 word sales letters, stuff that they used to print in newspapers in the 1980s and 1990s, alongside long form VSLs that you might find on Facebook or on ClickBank or on different advertising networks. Those are the pieces of copy that you need to be studying and reading every single day, at least once per day. Why? Because the best writers are the best readers. And if you can't sit down and read a 6,000 word sales letter in one sitting without getting distracted and scrolling Instagram reels, then you will never be able to write a successful piece of long form copy or any sort of successful copy, whether it's short or long. If you are a copywriter and you are not reading a sales letter every single day or some sort of copy every single day, then you have a problem. Because there's people like me who have 16 employees and way more capital and way more experience and way more leverage than you. And I still read sales letters every single day from random offers on random products just to keep my brain sharp. So imagine that I'm still doing that at my level, and there's people who haven't even got their first copywriting client and they complain about how difficult it is to get their first client, but they aren't even doing something as basic as reading a sales letter every single day. So your next question is probably going to be, okay, that sounds good, but where do I find these sales letters? And it's very simple. I've put a link in the description to my newsletter. When you sign up to my newsletter, the first email I'm going to send you will explain exactly how you can locate these swipes and these sales letters all over the internet for free. You just need to sign up to my free newsletter by clicking the link in the description and going to thecopycouncil.com, and I will instantly send you an email showing you where you can find all the sales letters you need to study every single day. It's just too much to explain in one video, so it's better that you sign up to my newsletter and I'll just send you an entire PDF for free breaking down how you can find these swipes and these sales letters. Now, let's get into the second habit which you need to get into every single day as a copywriter. The second habit is deep customer research. So at this point, you've already read a sales letter or a piece of copy. Now we're going to be analyzing the target customer and the target market for that piece of copy which you just read. Now, this is an extremely important exercise, and I'll explain why. Each product in the world has a group of customers who would buy that product. Your job as a copywriter is very simple. You need to step into the mind of the buyer and imagine a day in their life. You need to be able to experience the world through the customer's eyes, and only then will you be able to effectively sell to that customer. If you can't do this, you're going to end up blindly following generic sales advice, and you'll start to make assumptions on what matters to the customer without actually knowing for sure. You'll start to guess what angles and ideas might work, and you'll have to rely on discounts and shock factors just to sell to your customers because you don't understand who your customer is or what they truly want. That's why this second exercise is so important, because it's going to train your brain to be able to see the world through your customer's eyes. So first of all, I told you to read a piece of copy every single day. Now, for this second exercise, it's very simple. After you read that piece of copy, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. The first question you need to ask yourself is, what's usually true about the people that this specific piece of copy targets? Second question you need to ask yourself is, what is a day in the life like for the customer that this piece of copy targets? Write those 2 questions down on a Google Doc or, with a pen and paper or in your notes, and just answer them in bullet points. Now we're going to get into the third daily exercise. So by this point, you've read a sales letter, you've done some analysis on who the customer is and what a day in their life looks like. For this third exercise, you are now going to come up with bullet points for the piece of copy that you just read and analyzed. In case you didn't know, bullet points are one of the most important aspects of copywriting. And just to make it clear how important bullet points are, I'm going to read you a quote by Clayton Makepeace, who's one of the greatest direct response copywriters of all time. Clayton Makepeace said that the ability to write is one of the most powerful skills you'll ever acquire as a copywriter. And the ability to recognize both good and bad ones is essential to being a great direct response entrepreneur or marketing director. For those who don't know, Clayton Makepeace helped pioneer a lot of the modern day copywriting techniques that we use today. So he really is like one of the biggest OGs when it comes to copywriting. And that's the amount of importance that he placed on bullet points. And he's not the only one. Bullet points make your copy way more readable. They make your prospect want to continue reading and are easy to digest. And for context, I run a health company that I started in April, and we've done a few $1 million to date in revenue. And one of the biggest needle movers for us was simply putting bullet points on our sales page. It literally doubled our conversion rate. Now, I'm not saying that happens in every case, but that's one example of how important it is to learn how to write good bullet points. I know this might be hard to understand as a brand new copywriter, but you must believe me. Bullet points really are one of the most important skills to master. And as you practice writing bullet points every single day, you will see it translate into all aspects of your business, your sales ability, and your copywriting ability, most importantly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read out 6 bullet points that I personally wrote for an immunity supplement that converted at 6% on cold traffic. So first one is the 4 steps to perfect immunity and how to get there in 14 seconds per day. Second one, why the Ministry of Health refused to research this plant even after being presented with hundreds of accounts of this plant reversing diseases. Third bullet point, a potent chemical that you can find in blueberries to overhaul your master repair mechanism. Fourth bullet point, can this simple plant really stop you from being seen as a fragile and jaded old person to your friends and family? We think it can. Fifth bullet point, how this plant helped a man on his deathbed reverse disease and make a full recovery in just 2 months. And the final bullet point, the exact nutrient your body needs to 10x the suppression of a virus, which I'm not going to name, and fight disease 3 times faster. These may or may not be the best bullet points in the world. I'm not trying to paint them out as the best bullet points in the world, but I'm just trying to show you examples of what they look and sound like. They usually start off with why, how, 3 reasons why, the dark truth behind XYZ, what you can do to achieve X, and I could give you 1,000 examples, but you get my point. The purpose of bullet points is to invoke curiosity, tease the reader to keep reading more, and make your copy much easier to digest. And if you practice writing bullet points every single day, you will become extremely good at writing subheadings and headlines too. A good way to gauge if your bullet point is good is if it would serve as a good headline. Now, at this point, you've read a sales letter top to bottom or a piece of copy. You've analyzed the target market by asking yourself the 2 questions that I mentioned before. And now you've written 6 to 10 bullet points for that specific piece of copy. That's how simple this exercise is. Now, the 4th and final habit for this video is more of a general one, and it's pretty basic too. The 4th habit to master copywriting in 60 days is to simply write copy every single day. This sounds basic, I know, but you'd be surprised at how many copywriters or how many people call themselves copywriters, but they don't even write copy every single day. In my case, I write copy every single day to my free newsletter. I mentioned it earlier. You need to go sign up. It's completely free. But anyway, I write copy every single day to that newsletter, and I haven't missed a day in 700 days. On top of that, I write copy for my own health company. And until just a year and a half ago, I was writing copy for clients. Obviously, I don't do client work anymore. So if you want me to write a VSL or a long form sales letter for you, you can still reach out to me. But more than likely, it's going to be my team that actually writes the copy for you with my guidance. I don't personally do client work anymore because I don't have to. But I still write copy every single day. And if you want to become a good copywriter, you need to be writing every single day. There's no excuse and there's no way around it. It's just how it is. If you're not doing that, then you will not become a good copywriter. You're going to get lapped by people like me. And you're also going to get lapped by other people in the same position as you who just work harder. The fundamentals of copywriting do not change and will never change. And that's because copywriting at a very basic level is just sales. And anyone who becomes a high-level copywriter knows that fact, that copywriting is not a writing job. The real skill, the skill that makes money, is your ability to sell. And the principles of persuasion and human psychology will never, ever, ever change. And that's why the 4 exercises I just gave you are so basic, because in order to master and become good at selling and selling through copy, you need to master basic first principles of human persuasion. If you were expecting some quick cheat code or, a way to cut corners and become good, I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no such thing. Anyway, if you're serious about mastering copywriting going into 2025, then implement these 4 daily habits. I guarantee if you stay consistent with them for 60 days or even less, you will see a huge improvement. And finally, if you want to fast track your copywriting career in 2025 and actually learn how to get clients and make money as a copywriter, then sign up to my free newsletter. The link is in the description. I know I've said it a bunch of times, but it's free, so you can't complain. Go sign up. I send an email every single day.